Okay, so let's study the lesson Bholi. Okay, so you see the introduction part. From her very childhood, Bholi was neglected at home. Why did her teacher take special interest in her? Did Bholi measure up to her teacher's expectations? So let's find out how is Bholi different from other child, and what makes her special here. Okay, so okay, her name was Suleka, but since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. She was thin in nature, okay, simpleton, thin in structure. Okay, so simpleton means here very thin in structure. Okay, so her original name was Suleka, but she was known widely among the people by the name Bholi. Okay, she was the fourth daughter of Numberdar Ramlal. Okay, so she is the fourth daughter of a person called Ramlal. Okay, when she was 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot. Now see the history. Try to learn the history for which she has become somewhat different from others. Okay, so yeah, so when she was 10 months old, she had fallen off a cot. Cot means sort of a bed. Okay, of the cot on her head, and perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. Right? So the problem started from there itself. Understood? When she was 10 months old, she fell off from the cot on her head. Okay, head long she fell. Therefore injuring her head. Okay. Now, some part of her brain. That was why she remained a backward child and came to be known as Bholi, the simpleton. Now, because you know, the brain is the powerhouse of human beings. Everything is controlled over there. Your thought process, okay, your intelligent, your logical thinking, everything is controlled by the brain. So as the brain was injured, therefore she seems to have lost some part of the functions of the brain. Okay. At birth, the child was very fair and pretty, but when she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. So at the top of this injury, when she became 2 years old, she was attacked by smallpox. Okay. Only the eyes were saved, but the entire body was permanently disfigured by deep black poke marks. Okay, so when you must have heard, like when there was smallpox, now of course remedy has come out, but earlier there was hardly any medicine also available. Okay, and this disease used to leave the entire body, pockmarked, okay, spots with lots of spots, okay, black spots. Except her eyes, her entire body was disfigured, okay, because of smallpox. Now, little Suleka could not speak till she was 5, and when at last she learned to speak, she stammered. Okay, till 5 years old, she was not able to speak. And when eventually she learned to speak something, she was stammering a lot. Right? She was stammering a lot. Stammer, do you understand the meaning of stammer? Not able to speak clearly, okay? Okay, if a person, okay, stops for a for and stops every now and then while speaking. Okay, not able to proceed with his speech. That is called stammering. Okay, so eventually after 5 years, when he started speaking little bit, she was unfortunately stammering. Okay, she started stammering. So let's see what happens after that. Okay. Okay. Next, you see, she stammered. The other children often made fun of her and mimicked her. As a result, she talked very little. So, when a child in a group of children starts stammering, so she becomes the object of fun. Okay. So everyone made fun of her. Okay, because she was not able to speak fluently like other children, she was stammering. Right. Then what happened, you see? As a result, she talked very little. As a result, she must have lost her confidence. So, in the group of children, she used to keep silent, did not talk anything. Right. Because when she wanted to talk, she used to stammer. Okay, for which every child was making fun of her. That is why she stopped talking altogether. Okay, when she was in a group. Okay, now you see, Ramlal had 7 children. Okay, her father had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and the youngest of them was Bholi. So earlier you might have heard like in the 1950s, 40s, 30s, every family had a lot of population. Okay. Because there was hardly any education in the family and family planning was not made properly, and people did not have any family planning. Okay. Procedure. Okay, so they used to have a lot of children, but nowadays with the spread of education, with the spread of awareness, okay, with the spread of lot of programs everywhere, people have become alert, conscious, and that is why they were able to control the size of the family. But in earlier days, okay, there were in every family almost 4 or 5 children used to be there. Okay. Now, Bholi was the youngest of the 7 children, right? Then it was a prosperous farmer's household, and there was plenty to eat and drink. Farmer, Ramlal was a farmer, so he was a prosperous farmer, a rich farmer. Therefore, there was no scarcity of food in their family. Okay, there was no shortage of food in their family. There was plenty of food, okay, available because he was a prosperous farmer. He was a rich farmer, right? Now, all the children except Bholi were healthy and strong. The sons had been sent to the city to study in schools and later in colleges. Of the daughters, Radha. Don't talk. Among the daughters, Radha, who was the eldest, had already been married. The second daughter, Mangla's marriage had also been settled. And when that was done, Ramlal would think of the third Champa. They were good looking, healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. When it came to other daughters of Ramlal, he did not have any difficulty in giving them marriage, okay, because they were healthy and they were pretty as well. But when it came to Bholi, it was not possible because number one, she was not a normal child, okay, so, and of course she had a lot of physical deformities, okay. So let's see what happens. Now Ramlal would think of the third, okay, then you see, okay, but Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. Ramlal was very much worried about her fourth daughter, that is Bholi, because she had neither good looks nor intelligence. Therefore, it will be difficult for her when it came to her marriage. Therefore, Ramlal was very much worried about his fourth daughter, that is Bholi. Okay. Bholi was 7 years old. Bholi was 7 years old when Mangla was married. Mangla means the third daughter, it seems. The same year, a primary school for girls was opened in their village. Okay, earlier see there was a lot of problem for education. Children have to travel a lot of distance to study in a school. Sometimes it was not in their own village, they had to go to the neighboring village. Okay, there was no means of transport also, so they had to walk from their home to say 4 kilometers, 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers to attend classes in schools. Okay, nowadays of course every village has a school and for children there is not much of inconvenience, but in those days schools were very scarce actually. Okay, so they were not available. Okay, so children had to walk a mile, walk a lot of distance to attend classes. Now, when Ramlal's third daughter was married, in that year, a primary school was opened in their own village, right? So, what would Ramlal think of now as a father? As a father, he would think about getting his daughter admitted to a school. Why? Because he will think, if my daughter got educated, in that case, at least some of her deformities might be adjusted, because if she was educated, might be somebody would be interested for our marriage. Okay, so let's see what happens. Like primary school for girls was opened in their village. The Tehsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. Tehsildar means might be the village head. Okay, he came for the inauguration ceremony of that school. He said to Ramlal, as a revenue official, you are the representative of the government in the village, and so you must set an example of the villagers to the villagers. You must send your daughters to school. So Tehsildar, as Ramlal was very much prosperous farmer, and he was also the revenue official. Therefore, he was made the representative of the government. So Tehsildar told him, now as you need to set an example to the villagers, okay, so you start from your own house, you send your daughters to the school so that others become inspired to send their own daughters to the school. Because see, in those days, the priority for girl education wasn't there as much as for boys. Okay, girls were not sent outside for attending classes. Girls were not given priority. Only boys were given priority. Okay, in the 1930s, 40s, 50s. Okay, therefore there was a huge difference in the ratio. Okay, between boys and girls when it came to education. Okay, so might be that is why the Tehsildar requested Ramlal to send his daughter so that other villagers would also become inspired to send their daughters to the school, because in those days girl education was not compulsory. Okay, girls were made to work at home. Okay, only boys were given education to nearby schools. Okay, now let's see what happens. That night, when Ramlal consulted his wife, she cried, "Are you crazy? If girls go to school, who will marry them?" Okay, it means that Ramlal's wife was still very much ignorant about the need of education for girls. Therefore, she revolted, she protested to her husband, saying, "Are you crazy? If girls go to school, who will marry them?" But Ramlal had not the courage to disobey the Tehsildar, as Tehsildar had instructed him to set an example to the villagers. Therefore, he was not interested to disobey the order of the Tehsildar. Therefore, let us see what he is doing. At last, his wife said, "I will tell you what to do. Send Bholi to school. As it is, there is little chance of her getting married with her ugly face and lack of sense. Let the teachers at school worry about her." Okay? So, eventually, his wife came up with a suggestion, saying that you send Bholi to school, because Bholi has the least prospect of being married, as she was not beautiful and she was not a normal child. Therefore, let her get educated. Okay, let the teachers take the responsibility and let her become educated, not other girls, because they, even without education, they will be married off. So we don't have any worry about other daughters of ours except Bholi. Therefore, you send Bholi to the school, okay, because she needs education. So let's see what happens afterwards. The next day, Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand and said, "Come with me, I'll take you to school." Bholi was frightened. She was very much scared. She did not know what a school was like. Whereas it is for the first time that Bholi is stepping out of her home for the school. That is why obviously she was very much worried. She didn't know what a school life is all about. Understood? That is why she was not interested to attend classes in the nearby school. Okay? She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out of the house and sold. "No, no," she shouted in terror and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. Like, Bholi was trying to compare herself with her cow, saying that if few days before our cow, there is Lakshmi, what's the name of the cow? Lakshmi. Okay? Had been turned out of the house and she never returned. So likewise, if I am also turned out of the house, I may not also return to my home. Therefore, she started becoming worried and crying a lot. Okay, she was not interested to go to school because she started comparing herself with the condition of her cow. Okay, she thought that if cow had been turned out and was sold, cow did not return to our home. So if I am also turned out from home to school, might be like the cow, I shall also have the same fate and I shall not be able to return home anymore. That is why she has become even more worried about her joining the school. Let's see what happens now. "What's the matter with you, you fool?" shouted Ramlal. Ramlal was shouting at his daughter because she was not willing to join the village school. "What's the matter with you, you fool?" shouted Ramlal. I'm only taking you to school." Then he told his wife, "Let her wear some decent clothes today, or else what will the teachers and other schoolgirls think of us when they see her?" And then Ramlal turned to his wife and instructed her to make her daughter wear some good clothes. Otherwise, what will the teachers think of her and other children who will be joining the school think of her? They might make fun of her. Therefore, he instructed his wife to ensure that Bholi wears good clothes, okay, not the usual one that she is used to wearing at home. Because see, it is the tendency. It was the tendency of the parents in those days. Okay, like see, because they had lot of children. They had lot of children, 3-4 children. So the one who was weak or who was not so very much normal like the other ones, or might be one who was dullard or not much intelligent than the other one. What they used to do? They used to start neglecting those children. So Bholi also faced similar situation. Bholi, when it came to clothes, giving clothes or wearing clothes, Bholi was not given priority over other girls. Therefore, whenever she was at home, she used to wear all hand-me-downs or might be the old clothes. That is why her father was telling his wife that you ensure that she wears some good clothes, otherwise teachers and other children who will join in the school will make fun of her. Okay. Now, new clothes had never been made. Now see this background is given here. New clothes had never been made for Bholi. Okay. The old dresses of her sisters were passed on to her. Okay. As she was abnormal, not having intelligence enough and very thin in structure, therefore no new clothes were made for her. She was handed down, she was given the old clothes of her elder sisters. Okay. So see the background is given here. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes. But today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted champa. So it means second hand. Her sister's cloth has been again given to her, but at least this cloth is clean enough. It's not dirty. The clean enough. Might be it has become small, but it's clean enough. Okay, but it is not a new one. It is the old one. Her sister's. Okay. Now, but today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted champa. She was even bathed, and oil was rubbed into her dry and matted hair. Only then did she begin to believe that she was being taken to a place better than her home. So even her hair hygiene was taken care of. Okay, even her hair was taken care of, and oil was given. Then she was given a clean bath also, and then she somehow managed to understand that she was really going to a place which was probably a better place than her home. Because at home she was not taken care of. At home she was not given a clean bath, or her hair was not taken care of, oil was not given to her. Now that today she was taken utmost care by her mom, therefore she thought that probably she is going to a better place than her home. Okay, so now gradually her mind will change and she might decide in favor of going to the school. So let's see. When they reached the school, yes, then eventually she went to the school. Okay, so let's stop here. We'll continue in our next class. Okay, so you don't read at home, we'll study together. Okay.